like I said when you first told me we were recording, I hate attention. So
Yeah,
what am
I
I
got to see
doing
it.
trying to? I know it's like, don't look at me. But so what am I doing
Just
trying to
pretend you're
make
John
these
Cena.
videos? So okay,
His phrase is, "You can't see me,"
you can't see me.
because no one. So you don't want people to be looking at you like
Right.
you can't see. He would do this a
Has-
lot. Apparently, if you do this, you can't see him. So my
It doesn't
phrases
feel like
are,
it's helping.
It made him a lot of money. That's all I can say.
Well, if it made him money, maybe it can do that for me
And he
too.
said it a lot, so it must be true. Like no
It
one
just-
could see him. I think a lot of people saw him on many pay-per-views, so I don't know what he was talking about.
But it worked.
Sometimes if you believe it,
Yeah.
it works. You know
Okay,
what I mean?
then I believe it. No one can see me. That feels good.
Wish I was a kid again. Party every day, now my time I spend cleaning up vomit with this comment. Lost control, fights with Uber passengers, lost a friend. Stupid chasing after her, no longer a kid. Bronx SA, Austin, lived. Going to work the morning, tired, yawning. Don't know what
ready
to
to start?
do to get ahead.
Yeah,
Okay.
podcasts and stuff. We just started.
Oh God.
Yeah, we did.
Oh no.
Are you terrified?
No, I'm fine.
I feel like it just changed. We were doing so well before, and now like
I just.
some change. You just turn red.
No,
All
I
kinds
know,
of things are going.
You know, I just don't like attention, but I'm doing this. It's okay. I made the decision to do this for good.
Don't worry. Most people, I think, usually regret interacting with me.
That's not true.
Wait.
That's not true.
Boom. So yeah, man.
Yeah.
You are was on that list that I told you. Like I didn't think I was ever gonna get you on the show, but I totally always wanted to.
I did it.
I did. Yeah.
did it.
Well, no, we didn't do it yet.
You did.
We're
Okay,
doing
we're
it.
doing it. Well,
We're
we're in the
doing it.
process. It could still go wrong, I guess.
Now it's good though because you're speaking things into fruition. Like it is done.
Mm-hmm.
Because here's something. You know, Doctor Who, but I didn't learn this from Doctor Who. Time isn't linear, or it depends on what you believe and all that stuff.
But it is quite wibbly wobbly.
Ooh, wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
Yes.
Yes. But the idea that time not being linear, so by you saying we did do it.
It's already been done.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't even realize I had that much power, but
You do.
I do. Wow.
Yeah. The great poet Kanye once said, no man should have all that power.
I
think he included women too.
that phrase that you use all the time. Like,
Well, it's back for at least another hour.
I'm
So it's like,
so glad.
it is one of our great poets that cannot be denied.
It's true. He does things with words.
He does.
Yeah.
We do too. I do things with words now too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, you do. You do good stuff.
I do good stuff.
Yeah.
Do I do good? Why do I do good stuff?
I don't know. There's a lot of truth to what you do.
Ooh.
I think that's really important
Why?
because there's a lot that's not. There's no. I don't know. There's no point to it. You know
To the
what
stuff I
mean?
do?
No, I'm saying
know.
you have a point. I'm saying you're breaking that mold.
What's my point?
Truth, man.
Ooh.
I think that honestly.
I literally told someone that yesterday.
Okay, so I'm speaking the truth, am I not?
Mm.
So, like what I told you the other day, I was like, the reason I hit you up and I talked to you is because of this. I see you as this fierce creator, and I was like, who's gonna be the most proud of me for doing something? Abraham.
And I was. I don't know why. I don't know why I have that. Like not just for you, but like for everybody.
Yes,
like,
it's you embody this.
I'm like an anime character. I feed on people's creativity, but they must put it out. Otherwise, I can't feed.
It's like I said earlier. It's the aggressive support.
And you even
I
say it
know,
there too.
it's true. That's good. People need friends like that.
I like this, but I also know us, so we'll keep going.
Okay.
Okay. So here's this is always question one. Then it doesn't matter. But I feel like because sometimes question one never gets asked. Who am I here with today?
Is this a trick question?
No, it's no trick. I know who I'm here with. No one else knows who I'm here with.
That's a
I don't
good point.
introduce people.
Okay.
Because it's more curious. Because now I'm kind of spoiling it, but how does one interpret oneself? That's the whole point.
Am I answering your first question or that question?
Shit.
I'm going to start with the first one.
All right.
My name's Rachel.
Yeah.
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 Do you want more?
Yeah. Who is Rachel?
Okay, I'm Rachel, and I'm a musician, and I'm a teacher, and those are my two main qualifiers.
To be a Rachel? That's the checklist?
I think that's a lot of it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Every other Rachel I meet, I'm going to see. I don't think you're a
Are
real
you
Rachel.
Rachel teacher, musician? No,
I
no
think
Rachel.
you got to give up that L.
Yeah,
you can be
can't
Rach. You can to earn that L.
Funny story. When I was a kid, I hated being called Rach. It would send me into like an aggressive.
Is that a real nickname? I only thought of it right now just
No.
to work with what we're working with.
It's a thing that everyone tries to shorten Rachel to Rach. Like Rachel's only 2 syllables.
Why do people want to shorten names?
I don't
My
know.
name's Abraham.
I call you Abraham.
Do you really?
Yes, I just did.
Okay.
It's on
a lot
recording.
of people like to call me Abe. And you know what's my favorite? I think it was on a board or something, but I don't think it was in school. But somebody wrote down my name. You know how they spelled it?
How?
A-B. I was like, yo, I'm losing the E now.
Ab.
Yeah, I'm just. I was like,
How
what?
short do you need to make
I'm
my
like,
name?
I'm gonna be A
How many
soon. I'm
letters
just
have
gonna
been
be
cut
A.
off of my name?
I'm gonna be A one of these days.
Yeah.
So like that's crazy.
It's
Now,
not going to come from me.
I don't. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Fool, my mom is happy. My mom.
It's like I
Finally.
named him Abraham.
Yes,
Call
finally.
him Abraham.
Finally.
Yeah.
I think in a lot of the circles, because I'm in creative circles, most days people call me Boosh.
You've done that to yourself, though.
You're right, but what's funny is like I don't even. It's funny. I use it in text a lot.
Yeah.
I'm trying to,
It's your sign off.
but I don't use it a lot verbally. Like in reality.
That's a good point. I don't know that I had ever heard you say it, but I had seen it so often
Yeah.
on your posts and
I'm
on
trying
your-
to change that because I think if the world's gonna embrace it without me, I should probably embrace it.
Yeah.
Like I've been saying it in lyrics and stuff. Like
Yeah.
didn't take care of the Bushin side, you know? Like,
I mean,
like-
there's nothing wrong with having a catchphrase.
I guess.
Or
I think
it's
the
not
Mighty
even a
Boosh might
phrase.
be like, well,
I
there is
know,
something wrong,
well,
which
when
I
I
didn't take it
first-
from them.
I think the first time I saw you write it was you telling me happy birthday on Facebook or something,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and you ended up with Boosh, and I was
Yeah.
like, is that a Mighty Boosh joke?
Did you just
Am I
call me a
missing
bitch but
something?
can't
I know. I
spell?
was like,
Did
what's
you-
happening? Should I be concerned?
Like-
Because my first thought was like Mighty Boosh and the Crack Fox and all that, and I was like, is that what it is? But no, that's not what you're going for.
Going back to nicknames. So you don't like Rach.
No.
Do you like people calling you Rad? Is that acceptable or no?
No one's ever called me Rad
Why Rad?
because nobody realizes those are my initials
Yeah.
unless I tell them. I'm just like, hey, guess what?
Oh,
My
I
initials
thought
spell
that-
rad.
I remember
And
I
I get
thought
so
a long
excited.
time. I was like, that's ridiculous because
Yeah.
you're rad. How corny is that? How corny?
Not corny at all because it's my name.
Own it.
Ownership.
Let's go.
Rad.
Ownership.
I feel pretty rad sometimes.
You feel, oh,
Well, I don't feel rad in the like colorful sunglasses and bright colors type of rad, with the spiky hair and mullet type of
can I
rad.
turn this off?
Yeah, switch that little knob.
Because now that I'm like looking at you, I'm like,
There's
wow.
like a hole in the view. Do we need to put on some other light? Or is it good?
No, it's good. I'm probably gonna hate this in post because I colored for that. But I mean, it'll work out.
It's fine.
Yeah.
People
Right
are
now, you look like a
listening, but
blue thing as my eyes are adjusting.
Okay,
But eventually,
okay.
you'll look like a person.
that's
But
appreciated.
now that I like to look like, because I'm like I like to look at the people while I'm talking to them. I was like, oh my gosh, like this light is just like
it was kind of like it was getting brighter the longer I looked
Yeah.
at you. It was just like seeping into
it's
my
the energy.
vision. Yeah.
It's the
So-
energy.
Well, now that we got that figured out, we can keep talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Boom. Should we do a moment of awkward silence?
Okay, so I'm a teacher and I teach music
Yeah.
and it's all about sound, right? But the kids do not stop making sound and you have to teach them silence. And I approach it with, okay, here's our 5-minute awkward silence.
Wow.
Make it as awkward as you can.
Awkward.
And I'm like, look at each other. Get your weirdest face on, but you can't make any sound. So I always approach it with awkward silence. I'm the queen of awkward silence is what I'm trying to say.
Well,
Doesn't bother me.
anytime
I'm immune.
Awkward silence happens in my head is not silent for I am playing Depressed Mode
All the time?
all the time.
Is that exhausting?
Only during silences do I do it. So
Wow.
yeah.
Just the second we fall quiet, you're going to hear Depeche Mode. I was hoping I would hear it
Not telepathic yet. We're working on it. But let me tell you.
at some point.
While we were looking at each other, all
Yeah.
I was thinking was, all I ever wanted, all I ever needed is. I
That's
was
a
thinking about
good
it.
one.
It is a great
That's
one.
such a
I
good
love that
song.
song. It's a
Man,
great song.
as soon as you know how to share that, I think that's going to be a really good.
Maybe
skill.
when I'm 40.
Okay, all right.
I
You
don't
got
know the
few years.
timelines on telepathy. Is that how you would say that?
The timeline on telepathy. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
you nailed it. You're halfway there.
You're a teacher. I don't know. I figured I gotta ask. There's I'll say this about Depeche Mode. I don't want to get too much on Depeche Mode, but
Okay,
I'll say
we'll
this about Depeche
focus,
Mode.
but
I think I remember diving deep into them. I was like, this is amazing. This is like pop music, but like actually cool. Because it's not like as cheesy, even though they're talking
Yeah.
about the same stuff, but musically.
I know, but the music is
Yeah,
good.
yeah. It's
it
like
really
because
is.
it's still the same love songs or whatever.
I
and all
know,
that.
but
But just for the other
does
people.
that mean we're biased?
Maybe.
It's okay though.
Yeah, 'cause it's art. We
Because it's
can't-
good
yeah,
art.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
true. Well, art is supposed to be a little bit biased, I think.
How so?
Well, because the perceiver comes up with whatever they want. That's bias. You know? I mean, sometimes in music, there's sometimes program notes that tells you this is what I want you to think about.
See, man,
but
that's
not
from
always
your world. That's from your world.
but how many times have you been to a museum? You're about visual art, and you
Yeah.
see a plaque saying, "This is what I want you to fucking think about. You better
Yeah.
think about it."
Yeah,
and then you're like,
that
"I
shit's
don't
crazy.
know."
I don't think that's for me. Like, cause
I don't know.
it's funny. I'm not a big Queen person, but I saw that. Not that I'm anti-Queen. I just never
Well,
have
yeah,
gotten
it's-
to
yeah.
really explore that discography. But I know the songs, and this lady I had on the podcast, Danette. She invited me to a Queen party, like to view the movie on
The
I guess,
new one that came
Mercury's
out? Yeah,
birthday last
yeah.
year. Yeah. So the new one. Have you seen it yet, or?
But no, I haven't seen it.
It's alright.
I heard it was
It's a
good.
musician, like we're gonna do stuff movie.
Yeah.
You know,
Wow.
like, it's like because I mean, like it
Great
probably
review.
it probably would have been better. And now I'm biased again. It probably would have been better had they done the original one with Sacha Baron Cohen, where he wanted to do the trials and tribulations.
Yeah.
But
He's really got the look.
he does, and he's just like he would have done all the drama and maybe the not so the reality that is life.
Yeah. That's true.
But they wanted like because the movie probably starts right off the bat like gotta form this band, like we get into it, like we get into this Queen part. We ain't got time for like life and shit, But there's a moment in there, where I think they asked him about a song and he's like saying like it's pretty much I should have said this initially, but I love telling stories. I don't even remember the
You're
quote.
so good at stories.
Am I?
Yeah, we're about to go on another tangent though. Focus.
Okay. I wish I remember this quote, but essentially he says something along the lines of like, yeah, I did it, like I made this song, but it's all up to you to interpret like what it really means. Because they were trying to ask him to define some song about maybe it was about somebody or somebody, so how media is.
Yeah.
But he was like, I did it. It's you. You
Yeah.
tell me what it's about. I don't know, like
Right. Yeah.
So I was doing that because of I probably appreciate that more than
The being told.
yeah, and I
what
feel
to-
like you would know more about the classical world than me, but like getting my taste of that literally was being at UTSA
Yeah.
and working around y'all. So I would like, like it was like just classing of worlds. Like, 'cause
Yeah,
I want this
which
like
is cool.
it's cool, but like it was and now I'm more accepting of everything. But
Yeah.
definitely I would be on a team more embrace anything than
Yeah.
this is what it is. Like all like like
Yeah, I know. I appreciate having multiple opinions on a piece of artwork. I
Yeah.
think that's important.
Mm.
I think if you don't have that, I don't know. I want to know what other people experience, and giving something like a piece of artwork to look at or a piece of music to listen to and hearing all the different ways that people perceive it. I do that in my classrooms, and I ask my kids, "What did you think?" Which is such an open-ended question. You could just be like, "I liked it," or "I didn't like it," and move on. But the kids have so many things to say. I'm just like, holy cow, you're 12. It's fascinating. And I mean, as you grow older and you become adults, like you only become more nuanced, well, hopefully, in your perception of art. So if you're an artist, don't you want to poke at that and see what you can get?
Asking them at that age too, man, they probably have a lot to say.
There's so much. I mean, I've accidentally had conversations that end up the whole class period and we never touch our instruments.
That's good though.
It is. I never regret it.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that I don't get observed on those days and they're like, you literally just talked to them about one piece of music for 45 minutes, which for me, I can defend because that goes into, music appreciation and therapy and all this stuff. But are you following your teaks? Are you doing all this stuff? Yeah, it just looks better for us to be playing, I guess.
That's what's up.
Yeah, but kids have a lot to say. It's
What else
important
do
to
they
listen.
say?
A lot of garbage.
What is if you can say what is?
God, I was trying to like give a bunch of instructions to a bunch of kids, and a girl just walks up next to me and just said, "I got highlights." While I'm like in the middle of teaching, I'm just like, "Go sit down. I don't care that you got highlights." Or
Why don't you care though?
it's
Like,
not
this-
that I don't care.
know,
It's that there's
I
a
know,
time
I
and a
know.
place, man. Like kids do not. They're just like, "Ooh, teacher, let me go over there and say everything I need to say." Like you don't know stress until you have 30 different children. Well, honestly, probably 40 different children surrounding you, all needing to
Should
tell
we
you
all
something
have
really
this experience
important.
in life? Should we just all have like 40
Everyone should
children?
know what that feels like so that people look at teachers with a little bit more empathy.
Do
'Cause it's
you ever
rough.
seen the anime My Hero Academia?
All my kids tell me to watch that.
Like,
Is it
yes and
because
no.
sometimes I take their suggestions and I listen to their music, I
Yeah.
watch their shows, I'm like, yeah, that was great. But that's one I haven't.
I would say watch. You might be more tolerant of this than me. I would say watch it when it's done, because it's one of what I
Okay.
call the infinite animes.
Like
So,
One Piece?
Like yeah. Like for me, I've never seen One Piece.
Oh, you haven't?
Praise be anime. You know.
It'll take you for the rest of your life to
That's
catch
why
up.
I'm watching it. Because you know what? You know what I have seen? I've seen Naruto. And you know what's happened?
What?
I started watching that shit when I was in high school.
Yeah.
I am now like 15 years later.
Yeah.
Like I have met friends, lost friends.
Yeah.
All kinds of things have happened in my life. And you know what happened? His son got an anime now. No, that's a lifetime
No, I'm
commitment.
out.
His son has an anime not doing the same shit that he did.
Oh my
I was
god.
like- and now Naruto's in like the background. I'm like, dude, chill. I
Yeah.
ain't just gonna watch your whole family for my whole life, you know?
There are
Like-
other things to watch.
Yeah. So I mean, like
Yeah.
that stuff. They're good, but I think they're better if they're done, because at least you can binge it at your place. I
That's
hate
true.
watching that weekly. So My Hero
Yeah.
Academia is cool, and they're doing a more American thing. They're not doing it every week, but they come back for seasons,
Okay.
and then so they do it every week for that season. So it's just less nonsense. Because
Right.
one of my biggest complaints about Naruto is superpowers, and then they sell in a filler episode. And I remember he got hit with a rock behind the head, and I was like, "That's it." Like my man just fought like the god of all ninja-ness,
Yeah.
like all kinds of powers. But that guy never thought like, let me hit this dude in the back of the head with a rock,
Yeah.
knock
Like, why
him
was
out.
that the moment you decided?
That was probably the moment where I was
Oh,
like, never watching another filler again. I
Yeah.
was like, that's it. I'm
done.
done. But I brought My Hero Academia up because these people, heroes, they're going to school to be a hero in that
Mm-hmm.
world. I won't go more, but it is good. But one of the tests these 3 students were taking was they took these other children from like a bad class,
Mm-hmm.
and they were like, your test if you want to become a superhero is you gotta like get these kids in order, and they all have powers too, and blah blah blah. But it's just 40 kids like just acting like wild
Yeah.
and doing all this crazy shit. So at first they're overwhelmed, and they
Yeah.
figure it out because that's the show.
Yeah.
But it was just reminded me of that
Yeah.
that experience.
They're
They're like,
insane.
you know what? No, you're not beating bad guys today. You have to control children.
Yeah. That's quite a punishment.
And they
yeah.
gave it to they didn't give it to everybody. They just gave it to the 3 worst kids, and that was it in the class.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that was that.
That's about like teaching.
Mm.
Yeah.
How does one how would one experience that without having to actually become a teacher so that they can get that experience?
Everything I can think of would probably make you look like a creep. How are you going to get kids around you that aren't yours that you
Well,
have to do?
I guess one of the
You
things
know?
that come my friend, I think he teaches college though. He has a PhD, so he teaches college. So he's brought in guests but those are a different age group.
Yeah,
So,
that's
yeah.
very different.
Yeah.
They like have sentient thoughts and
Wait, so kids
control
don't have
over.
that?
Sometimes I think they don't. No, I'm just
They
kidding.
don't have the
but-
first one though, sentient thoughts. Definitely the control is another issue.
I'm sorry. Sometimes they're harder than other days, but no.
I feel you.
But college, I think, is very different because you don't have to control like their bodily issues, and they're not going through like hormone changes on a daily basis. They're not discovering what the opposite sex is for the first time.
Did you pick that age on purpose? Would you have like maybe like a younger one or something? What?
So here's the thing. When I first started teaching, I did high school and middle school.
Yeah.
So I could get really, really in depth, like into music theory with the older kids, and you can do that a little bit with middle schoolers. But like I had so much fun with high school kids. However, if I am in the middle school classroom and I'm teaching, I could be a stand-up comedian to them. They think I am the most hilarious person in the world. They like my sense of humor is perfect for middle school. They listen to me. They are attentive. They are like so involved because I
talking.
think I get
just check something.
Okay.
Keep talking.
I think I win them over because the second they realize that I'm like, I game and I listen to music and I watch movies and I'm into Marvel, then they're like, oh,
She's one
I
of
relate
us.
with this. Yes, exactly. Yes. Like, so like I don't know. I feel like I've got a really good, I don't know. I got a good rapport with them. They listen to me. They let me teach them, I guess is the point. Like I was saying earlier, kids usually take my class on purpose. So I'm
you can choose.
I'm lucky.
Like,
well, I mean, I don't teach history or English or something they have to take. So if they take orchestra, either their parents force them into it.
This is that Texas stuff that I never experienced because we didn't get choice. That's why I was like, wait, you can choose? Like,
yeah, well, with electives anyway.
Yeah.
So.
I never got to experience any of that. Like I always tell people, I only had 2 music classes my entire, if you call it school career. But I mean, maybe it's because I was in private, like Catholic school, but
that is definitely why. That's very different.
And I never touched an instrument in any of them.
Yeah. Well, yeah. a lot of schools outside of Texas, and on top of that, a lot of private schools don't have any music program at all.
Yeah.
And if they do, a lot of times it's either choir or band. Orchestra is usually the least important on their hierarchy of which electives should we add. So San Antonio is pretty lucky that we have orchestra programs.
I feel like just talking to anybody from Texas, like it's definitely, they had a different experience when it comes to all that.
It's probably true.
Yeah, it just had like bigger impact on their life.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I don't even know if I wonder per se like what could have been, but just considering like the role music ended up playing in my life.
Yeah.
Like I just wonder what would have been had it in school. You know,
yeah,
and not
that's
just
a good
everywhere
point.
outside, you know. But at the same time, you know, like I don't know if the phrase "no regret" is good, but like
yeah.
Now I can see as I look back, I'm still grateful for that path because I remember being angry when I got taken out of public school and put into Catholic school. But I'm also, I think, grateful in retrospect because I think that probably saved my life. Like, I mean, I can never really know, but I see what went on in the other schools, and I was like, oh yeah, it was like the more stereotypical gangster stuff.
Well, I think that for different situations, that's still true for a lot of kids. Music is the thing that saves their lives.
I didn't mean the music part. I just meant the fact that I went to Catholic school.
Oh, yeah.
I went to private
maybe
school because it changed my path.
Yeah, that's fair.
You mentioned the saving your life part. That I feel like I used to always, I don't want to say dislike or hate people like who would like embody that. Music saved my life.
Well, it's true for
and it's not that I'm not ever denying them of that truth.
Yeah.
But I always felt like, man, they just made, and see here, I'll take an opinion. They just usually were pretty crappy musicians. Like,
well, I'm not saying they're musicians either.
Yeah, but all right. I guess my encounter with the ones that were musicians.
Okay, interesting.
But I'll say that as I see like what I'm doing in my life, I'm like, and I always tell people like, dude, I think I'm gonna become one of these music save my life people, man.
Yeah, it really, well, on the lighter end of it, it gives you something to work for. It can be as creative as you want it to be. There's 1,000 different things you can do with it. In terms of saving your life in a lighter sense, it can give you purpose. In terms of
that's what it's doing
legitimately,
for me.
Yeah,
and I don't even know if that's necessarily like right that I'm doing that, but I'm like, look, man, like at least I have something that's my own.
Right,
so,
it feels good.
Yes, it does.
Gives you purpose.
I haven't felt that in a long time, and by having that sense of purpose, it just makes me feel like everything else is gonna be all right.
Yeah.
Like no matter what the world throws at me. So
yeah.
So yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's a fair. I know you just said you're becoming one of those people, but I think that's exactly. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It's given you something like big to do. That's bigger than you.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah, I got crazy ambitions for it. So like,
that's good.
Trying to take it a day at a time, but at the same time, if I take it a day at a time, then some crazy good stuff's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So
that's good.
Yeah, man.
If you keep If you feel that way, that means there's something coming, I think.
I do.
But yeah, as far as choosing middle school, I really think that the amount of kids that make me feel like orchestra is the only reason they come to school, it's hard to consider leaving because it's a big, I mean, some of those kids are going through stuff that they should not have to deal with. And they tell me, your class is the only class that makes me come to school. So I'm not about to try to mess with that unless I have to.
Do you, I guess, appreciate that as a teacher when you hear that? Like,
yeah, that makes it really hard to ignore that you are making differences actively in people's lives. But I think a lot of musicians feel that way too, not necessarily just teachers. I think that's not specific to teaching.
I'm
gonna drink out of my giant embarrassing water bottle. No, it's funny because every time I pick this up, my kids are like, "That's a huge water bottle," and I'm like, "Yeah, I drink a lot of water."
Oh, but you left the space. Scales. Like, yeah, I drink a lot of water.
Play your scales. Stop asking me dumb questions. Yeah.
No, because I think I've learned recently, like, yo, if you're a real drinker, you carry that around.
I carry this around everywhere. I get made fun of all the time, which is why I had to call myself out before anybody else did.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Continue.
I don't remember what I was going to say.
I'm sorry.
Nah, you're good. Don't matter.
I have a terrible memory, so I don't remember either.
I think Tomas took me to a show one time, and he's always into these artists that I'm not as familiar with, which is fine. I think one of them was Mick Jenkins. And I swear his catchphrase, everybody needs a catchphrase, right?
Yeah.
I swear it was something along the lines of drink more water. So
it should be a mantra. Like,
well, it definitely is. He made us say that a lot. I ain't never heard a rapper talk about more water ever. I was like, damn.
I love it. Man, I would listen to that just for validation.
Like, yeah, he about this life.
I'm like, man, I can get behind this.
It was the antithesis of all other songs. It was crazy.
And drink more water.
Yeah. You'd make the crowd, like, in between each song, like, drink more, and then I think we had to say water. Something like that. He definitely had to say water.
Especially at a live show.
Yeah.
That guy's doing good work. That's important.
Changing lives.
Yeah.
One sip at a time.
That's so funny. I'm going to have to find that.
Mick Jenkins, man.
Mick Jenkins. Will you send that? Because I'll forget it.
I'll write it down, and then I'll text it to you when I'm not in airplane mode.
Okay.
Mick Jenkins.
Mick Jenkins.
Yeah. He gonna watch this, so he'll probably laugh. I can't spell Mick Jenkins. No, not Mick Jenkins. Tomas.
Oh, Tomas. Hi, Tomas. Hello, Tomas. I miss Tomas.
Yeah. I told him yesterday. He was like, "The Rachel? Like that Rachel?"
The one that no one ever sees or hears from. Oh man.
It wasn't because of that though. It's because like I guess the place that you once held in my life, That's why. As we go right on that. So I don't know, like what's because I feel like this is something you do want to talk about.
Yeah. So
I didn't have to do nothing. Just lay it up. I was just like,
okay.
You got it. No, go.
Well, because you're right. You asked me to come on. You've been asking me to come on, and I've just been like, no, I'm busy. I got stuff to do, or I've ignored you completely. Sorry.
It happens.
But now that I've been trying to do, whatever it is I've been doing, trying to be more vocal about it, I think this is a good practice to talk about it.
That's all I am. I'm just practice.
So, no, you're
AI didn't like practice.
What?
Allen Iverson, practice? Like we talking about practice? It was a famous phrase. Don't worry about it.
I was about to go on a tangent about practicing what I talk to my kids about, but since we're trying to stay focused,
are we though? So,
I'm having fun either way. We never do anyway.
That's why it's fun.
Yeah, that's true. That's why our conversation's never done.
Yeah.
So we go 1,000 different directions.
We could have our own podcast, and it would just stop.
It would never end.
Yeah.
There's too many things to say.
I would totally be down.
We should.
Don't threaten me because look, we can totally do it like via a Skype call, and it'll be just a separate. Yes. So don't
Hey,
threaten me.
you
with
could
it.
also help me feel less awkward on
And
Twitch.
I offer that too. Like,
Yeah,
because I don't know if you've
I
seen
still
people when
want to
they
download
play.
Discord.
They'll have Discord.
Because
on.
I think that would make me feel less awkward about it.
Yeah.
Because like I said when you first told me we were recording, I hate attention. So
Yeah,
what am
I
I
can see
doing
it.
trying to? I know it's like don't look at me. But so what am I doing
Just
trying to
pretend you're
make
John
these
Cena.
videos? So okay,
His phrase is, "You can't see me,"
you can't see me.
because no one. So you don't want people to be looking at you like
Right.
you can't see. He would do this a
Has-
lot. Apparently, if you do this, you can't see him. So my
It doesn't
phrases
feel like
are-
it's
are-
helping.
It made him a lot of money. That's all I can say.
Well, if it made him money, maybe it can do that for me
And he
too.
said it a lot, so it must be true. Like no
It's-
one could see him. I think a lot of people saw him on many pay-per-views, so I don't know what he was talking about.
But it worked.
Sometimes if you believe it,
Yeah.
it works. You know
Okay,
what I mean?
then I believe it. No one can see me. That feels good.
There you go. You're
It's
free.
really good.
Free
Okay.
at last.
Okay, so I'm gonna try my best to focus. So
You can do it. I believe in you.
the hidden topic of discussion: chronic illness, invisible illnesses.
See?
That's what they're called. You can't see them.
No, but it was tying into that. You see? Not
Hilarious.
a tangent.
Oh my gosh! If any spoonies watch this, they're going to love that joke.
So I've never heard of one. They can watch it if you put the word out there, because I'm sure you know other people.
I do.
So, and two, I've never heard that word until you you. So I saw it in your name, in your names online. So
I
what
can
is a
explain
spoonie?
it. Okay, so I don't remember the name of the person who
I thought you were
kind
gonna
of
say I don't
coined
remember
this.
what it is. I
I
was
don't
like,
remember
dude,
what
really?
spoons are. I'm sorry. I should just leave the show now. No, there is a woman named Christine Blank. I can't remember her last name. I'm sorry. And
Shout out
every
Christine
time,
Blank.
shout out to Christine, Spoon Theory hero. And in fact, her website has not worked the past few times I've tried to go there.
That is not good.
No, it's not, or that's not good. Which, okay. Anyway.
No. I meant that the website doesn't work.
I know. Because,
I just had my cords tangled on my foot, and I was like, "Come on, I'm trying to get my foot up."
but we got through it, and it was
we did
okay.
get through.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
her website
the poet
has not
Kendrick
gotten
Lamar
through.
once said, "We gonna be all right."
And we are.
Yeah, her
Okay.
website will be all right too
Hopefully.
at some point.
But it was so perfect because the name of the website was butyoudon'tlooksick.com. I found it by accident when I was first diagnosed in 2003 or 2004. I can't remember when I was
Damn.
diagnosed. So I was like, fibromyalgia, what the fuck is that? And I wanted to find information
I like the
because
self-edit right there.
Yeah, I teach. I'm really good at stopping myself, except that time I didn't actually stop myself.
Yeah,
So,
but it was
anyway.
an attempt.
I tried. Really tried. So I started doing all this research on it because back then there were a lot of doctors who didn't think it was real. So they would say, "No, you're just really depressed. No, you're lying. Have you ever
I
thought about
remember
the
you
fact
telling
that you're
me, yeah.
lying?" Yeah, it was impossible, especially because I was 12 or 13 years old. I'm sorry, I can't remember because I was on so much medication. So this is what happened. And I'll get to Spoon Theory in a second.
Oh, yeah, no worries.
So I start feeling like it started in my knees and then it just became just widespread pain. And I didn't know how to explain it to my doctors or my parents or anybody, but it felt like, now I tell people it feels like you're getting hit by a truck. But back then I said that it felt like my veins and my blood was all made out of lead. So it just made me feel incredibly heavy and
that picture
compressed.
sounds like not good.
Yeah, so even breathing and expanding your rib cage was painful and sore. Like it just felt like it was just impossible. So trying to go to school all day long and sit in a chair where you can't move for that. I mean, the worst thing still for me now is staying still for too long a period of time. It makes my body ache and hurt.
Oh, wow.
So anyway, all this is going on. Doctors are like, "No, you're not actually in pain. You're depressed. Here are some antidepressants." And guess what that does? When you take a mood-altering drug that you don't need altered, it does weird shit to your brain. And I was still a child. My brain hadn't finished functioning. So I became the angriest young thing on the face of this planet. And that's when I started journaling. We were talking about journaling earlier. I duct taped over
I think
a lot
you
of stuff
touched
that I
on
didn't
some
want
of
to
this
remember.
years ago, but yeah,
Probably.
I can't even imagine you angry. But
I know, and I'm such a different person now. I can't even recognize who I was back then. But again, I was on 23 different medications a day.
damn,
23.
that's insane.
It's crazy. So, okay, so I finally get to a doctor who will finally see me and finally treat me and finally try to decide what's wrong with me. And he comes up with a diagnosis of fibromyalgia. Back then, a lot of doctors were like, no, that's not a real illness. That doctor doesn't know what they're talking about. We're still going to do this. So they start giving me that doctor, Dr. Allen, I love him. I swear he saved my life because I was going down a really rough patch.
Shout out Dr. Allen.
Shout out to Dr. Allen, Everett Allen, South Texas rheumatologist of what's that? Stone Oak.
Stone Oak.
He's in Stone Oak. Anyway, the other doctors were putting me on like Vioxx and mega painkillers and like stuff that we now know synthetic opiates behave like opiates. And I was a kid taking all of that medicine all at the same time. So anyway, all of this frustration, I go to the internet, which wasn't very helpful back then. And I find
Google was in its infancy.
Yeah, honestly, it was. Anyway, so I find this website that says, but you don't look sick.com. And I was like, I hear that all the time. My PE coach, one day after being released from the hospital, I was like, I can't run. I just got out of the hospital. And she was like, really? You look fine. And she made me run. And then I got sick and I had to go to the nurse and my mom was so mad at her. So, but you don't look sick.com, just the name was so satisfying. I was like, oh my God, somebody understands. And I start reading and she starts talking about the spoon theory. And I was like, I don't get it. And so, but the whole basis is this. Consider every little thing that you have to do from the time you get out of bed, which is already doing something, to the end of the day, getting back in bed. Every little thing that you do costs a certain number of spoons. She just uses spoons because she was in a cafe with a friend trying to explain her situation. She was like, pretend that this is your only currency. So she's trying to explain it with the spoon, right? So she's trying to tell her friend, she's like, okay, getting out of bed if I'm in a flare-up costs 10 spoons. Getting out of bed on a normal day where I feel pretty good costs 1 spoon, right? Taking a shower sometimes with your arms over your head for too long can be really, really hard and take a ton of energy to a chronically ill person with a chronic pain illness.
How
and
many
that can,
spoons is this?
it depends on the person, the illness, and the day.
No, I mean this. Literally, how many spoons is this?
Well, okay, so that's another thing. Social interactions. It depends on the day. The past few days, I've felt pretty good. I haven't had a flare up since Saturday. So this is taking 0 spoons at the moment. But on most days, I would not be able to do this. And especially being a teacher, like I never have spoons basically. So, I mean, cooking yourself food, taking care of the pets, taking care of your kids if you have kids, making yourself coffee, standing up in the kitchen long enough to make yourself coffee. It depends on how you're feeling and it depends on your day and it depends on if you're in the middle of a flare-up. So the spoon theory just has to do with having to ration your energy and everything that you do. And if you take too many spoons than what you have, you're taking them away from your next day. So all of those times where we wanted to hang out and it was after 9, I'm like, I can't do anything because tomorrow's going to suck.
I feel bad right now.
No, but I mean, I didn't want to try to explain it because look how long that took.
Yeah.
And it was back then, it was still so personal. I didn't talk about it to anybody.
Like I know I had an understanding of something. But
I explained a little bit.
Understanding I had, and honestly, like during that time, I don't even know if I would have had the mental capacity to understand.
I think that's true for a lot of people.
Yeah, like, and especially just at that time, like I would have like I'm more aware now of a lot of things, and I probably would have viewed the world through like blinders anyway.
Yeah.
Like for whatever I feel, so like I might have misconstrued that all anyway.
Yeah. There's plenty of times where I've explained it to people and they think that I'm making it up to get out of hanging out with them. And you get tired of explaining it because it's incredibly personal and it's a daily struggle. And you spend time explaining it to somebody who then says, okay, yeah, whatever. I can tell you don't want to hang out with me. And I'm like, okay, I guess that's our friendship. Goodbye. Like I'm trying really hard to make things work. And then, people don't take it seriously. So then I spend the rest of my time pretending that it doesn't exist and just faking it and then just hiding when I need to and not seeing my friends and just hoping that people don't forget that I exist, which you didn't. So thank you.
That's why, like, I know, and you say that again now, and you said
I
it.
know you didn't believe me when I said it.
I didn't. It's
earlier.
not that I don't. It was like I feel like in some ways that maybe, like I did though. You know what I mean? Like I did. What did you say? Like
Well, I said thank you for not giving up on our friendship.
And that's what I was. All right. So like, and I feel like in some ways, like I don't know, maybe I did though. Like that's why.
But you're here, so you didn't.
I guess.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that the proof?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, if you hadn't cared about our friendship, you wouldn't have responded when I said, "Hey, I made a video and it's garbage. Will you watch it?"
I did.
Yeah, and you did, and you gave me a lot of pointers, and I was like, "Okay, that's good. That's really good." So, so you didn't give up on me. A lot of people have. A lot of people have, because I never gave them a chance to understand what's going on.
I have a problem. I won't go, because I want you to keep talking, but I have a problem. And sometimes I mention Naruto. I think, and I feel like it's gotten me in a lot of trouble. I feel like I might be like, my own version of Naruto. Because a lot of the anime is just him not giving up on his friend.
Yeah.
And funny enough, I mentioned my friend who just moved to Austin.
Yeah.
He, I'll go into too much on that. Like, he's not a bad, evil person, but he's definitely motivated by the dark side in him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I told him once, are you going to be Sasuke and I'm going to be like Naruto? I'm going to just have to save you, like, during some stupid, I don't know what the parallel for real life is going to be, but some waterfall battle. And, like, because sometimes I be thinking that. Because I remember when I was at the height of my confidence last day, he's like, dude, Abraham, the way you talk, it sounds like you motivated by love. And it was one of the few times where I was a lot of times, because he's in a different place in life than I am, a lot of times he's talking to me from a certain place, and I feel like I'm just trying to catch up. Yeah. That's what a lot of the Naruto show was.
Yeah.
Like he used darkness to kind of get ahead inside in his life, But like for that one moment when I was super confident, I was able to talk to him in a different place. I was coming off the high reading that book, Daring Greatly.
Yeah.
It was one of the few times I got him to reveal some stuff, but it was just like he was like, dude, it sounds like you're coming from the place of love. And then he was warning me for the first time because I'd heard it through others, but he was warning me like about his like darkness that I guess fuels him. But yeah, like I don't even remember why I want to do that.
I see that. I definitely see that as being one of your forces that keeps you going. Love. Yes. Yeah. Or just seeking beauty and truth, which I think is also the same thing. I
definitely will say that. I've realized I definitely like truth.
I know you do.
I do.
But I think, I don't know, I feel like all of that's kind of connected.
But yeah, no, you mentioned the not giving up. So I was just like, I feel like it's a I guess, jokingly say problem, but I blame Naruto because that show was so long that I had no choice to be influenced by it. Because, as I said, his son is still going on right now.
Yeah. Wait, is that an analogy for our friendship? Is that what you're saying?
No, because you're not fueled by darkness at all. I don't think I'm saving you.
When I was a kid. When I was an angry kid.
Before I met you.
Yeah. Not anymore.
That was before Abe. Yeah. There was BA, and then there's other A. That was before Abe. That was BB. That was before Boosh. Right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, a youngling.
But no, it's just like I don't know. It's just like I guess a pattern where like I have a. I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if that's like a weakness in me, where like maybe an attachment to people too or something. But as I'm still trying to discover exactly.
I think like with any power, you have to learn how to control it.
Still working on it.
Me too.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's working to get better at what they do. But even if it's themselves.
I'm proud that you're kind of whatever it is. If you want to like that, kind of made you wanna like start sharing that. But
it was pure frustration and being tired of not.
It sucks, all right? That's why.
Yeah, of 29 years of being muted, in my 30th year, I'm trying to use my voice for good.
That's what's up.
Because there are a lot of people with my condition that are fully disabled and can't work, so I feel lucky already.
When you were telling me about the spoonies,
I
was like, I don't want to cut you off, but in my head, I was like, the fighting game man was like, she's talking about meter. She's talking about
that's exactly
the
right,
only
though.
difference, though, because you didn't mention this at all, is you can build meter in fighting games,
Yes, and
but you
depending
can't
on
do certain actions without meter. So,
right,
yeah.
like power moves.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have to give time to charge them.
Yeah.
Like
The new esports world would call that cooldown.
right. Well, that's exactly what this is. So I love that you said that because that's how I feel like it is too. You've got certain slots for certain things too,
Yeah.
right? Like power items and boosts and stuff. And then, well, I mean, maybe that's not a Street Fighter reference, but that's just a gaming reference. But
Smash Brothers,
Yeah, yeah.
sort of has items.
Yeah,
If we're not playing tournament,
yeah, that's true. But you have to build up your power moves, and a power move that every Spoonie needs is a day where you are not having a flare up. And in order to build that up, I have to follow all of my rules that keep me going. And sometimes that doesn't matter. You know how you blow a power move and you're facing the wrong direction?
Yeah.
So how do you think it feels when you get a flare up anyway, even though you've been following all the goddamn rules anyway, and you blow it on something stupid and you're like, really, this is what takes me down?
Damn.
This that I planned so hard for, and I just blew it because I decided to take my dog for a walk. Right.
damn.
On the wrong night, because then I'm in a flare up for a week for some, the frustrating
So
thing is
how if I may ask, like, what I'll do two things. First, I'm gonna ask that, but then the paranoia. Even though I know things are working, I was like, I just want to check. All right. But all right, the flare up. Like, so what is a fibromyalgia? Am I saying that right?
Fibromyalgia.
Fibromyalgia flare up.
Fibromyalgia.
What is fibromyalgia?
So fibro is
Fibro.
It's like it's talking about muscles.
Okay.
Myalgia, pain.
Okay, muscle pain.
Yeah, and I hate that name because it's not always muscle pain. It can be in your joints. It can be in your tendons. It can be in your everything. Everything that you have can hurt.
But
It's
what is the
terrible.
flare up and how does it get triggered?
So the first question has an easy answer. The second one doesn't.
Okay.
A flare up is when you have just all of your symptoms at the height of their just awfulness. Is that a word? It is now. So
I always say the
let's-
human language is created by humans and you are human.
and I can be creative with
Yes.
my words.
Boom.
So
There you
it
go.
is. Power. So let's say that my main symptoms, and everybody's different. My main symptoms are that crushing feeling I was telling you about,
Yeah.
shoulder and joint pain, and my hips, and sometimes just just to the touch, my skin hurts. So let's say on one day, all of those things are at max power, right?
Okay, you got full meter. Let's go.
Yeah.
let's go.
Okay. You have a full meter on a normal day, but on that day, your meter is now this long, and that's all you have to fight with. And you got nothing. And I have to go teach. I can't take a day off every time that happens.
Yeah.
But a flare up is just everything is at its worst. And there's nothing you can do about it until it goes away.
Damn.
It could last for the one that I had on Saturday lasted for a few hours and then a little bit on Sunday morning. So it was really short. I've had flare-ups that last a week or more.
So you just have to like I guess live through it.
You have to live through it. You have to take immense
Can
care
you
of yourself.
sleep like while this is going on?
It depends on how bad it is.
Damn.
Sometimes sleep is the only thing that feels good.
I know that in my own way.
Yeah, I know
for
everybody kind of
different
has that
situations.
experience
Yeah.
too. But so a flare up just means that everything is on its worst. And then as for what causes them, it depends. Sometimes it comes out of nowhere, and I haven't been able to track where it came from. Sometimes the weather causes it.
Really?
That's pretty rare for me, but that's really common for other people. Sometimes
Like what weather? Like how so? Like hot, cold?
really well, for some people they're super sensitive to heat. I'm really sensitive to heat.
Really?
Like really sensitive.
You living in the wrong.
I know, right? But it has to be pretty extreme.
Okay.
It was worse when I was younger, and now it's not as bad. Some people it's really bad in rainy weather. Some people it's really bad in humid weather in general. Some people it's really bad in the cold. Like people with arthritis and stuff, because it's joints. Cold weather is terrible for them because that makes it more constricted. So it just depends. Sometimes people are triggered by foods. Some people are triggered by too much strenuous activity. So like let's say I had a really awful fence that was half like fallen down.
You mentioned the fence. Yeah.
I didn't, by half I mean the whole thing was falling down on both sides. So and because like, if I had decided to go out and help them on a day where I felt okay, I would have just forced myself into a flare up, because if I already have only this much and I can tell what I have left, if I only have this much left
Now
and
you're
I
more
try to
aware.
go build a fence
Yeah.
and I've got like manual labor I have to do, I already know that tomorrow is gone and possibly the next day.
Damn.
So it's hard to say. Sometimes I have a full meter and I can do all the manual labor I want. I used to unload trucks at Michael's. Like it was, it's not always bad, but when
Yeah.
it's bad, it's really bad.
But you said it's getting worse.
It's gotten worse every year I've been teaching. So this year,
Would you say teaching's making it worse because of this extra stress?
I don't know. It could be that because it's a stressful job. And this year I have 200 students by myself, which is more than I'm supposed to have. Or, like I said earlier, I got off of that last medication the year I started teaching because I didn't want to be on an opiate. So I went through all that withdrawal. It was awful. So I spent the past few years unmedicated completely. So maybe it's just that, it got worse as my medication as I was going untreated. I don't know. It's hard to say. So I don't really know. I just know it's getting worse, and I'm trying to figure out how to take care of it. I hate thinking about leaving teaching because I don't know what else I would do. But I know that if it keeps going this bad, I can't do this forever.
Yeah.
I'm not going to survive it.
It's still like too new that there aren't like there isn't enough info. Like, to maybe like I don't know. I don't know if treat is the right word, but like I guess work on it or.
Well, it's interesting that you say that because just this morning, this was really cool. I got to go be part of a study of fibromyalgia. So I went up to
I was just surprised. Were you like right here too? I was like literally like the college here. I was
at UTSA.
Yeah.
I found out about it by accident. They were asking for fibromyalgia patients to come participate in a study. And the guy I met was so cool. I assumed he knew somebody with fibromyalgia because otherwise who would care, to study it when every doctor I've ever met has been just like, yeah, whatever. It's not real. Except for that one. And he was telling me how much research has changed and how much, it's widely accepted as a real condition because it's got, different issues that are unique to fibromyalgia and not other things. And he was telling me about pediatric fibromyalgia because nobody believed I could have possibly had it if I was a kid, which was another issue with getting diagnosed. And I got to be part of a study to help. It felt incredibly like, is he going crazy on your hand?
He put my whole hand in his mouth. I was like,
he
really?
likes to do
We're
that.
doing that?
He's getting to know you.
That's cool.
So it just felt really validating to hear everything he was saying about the research and to be part of it. Like that felt really empowering.
Yeah.
And validating.
That's
so
cool.
they're learning more and more, especially with people like him doing research about it.
If you could, especially since it's newer, if you could stay in contact with people like that who are on like the cutting edge,
yes,
that would probably help for the long term. Because, you'll probably be more test subjecty, but you'll also, I mean, it is what it is.
I'm happy to help in any way I can.
But also, it'll be quicker, assuming things work, to get into the cure than waiting for normalization of it.
Right. Like being a part of it from the middle, from ground zero.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool. He said he would keep my contact information because I said I want to be involved.
And you should too, because he's probably busy in his own life.
He knows. Well, it's funny because we were talking, and he has a kid that goes to a school where I know the orchestra directors, and his kids are in orchestra and band. See? So I know. I was like, I know your kids' teachers.
There you go.
Yeah,
damn, is that a threat? You better fix me.
It sounds like it, but no, fix me. I know where your kids go to school. No. But I just thought that was funny. Small world. But
that's badass.
But it felt really, really empowering. It felt like I was doing something, and I've done nothing about my illness my whole life. So it felt
that's
good.
Cool. Yes, because if you can be proactive in it, it'll change your whole perspective.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. So that felt good.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Boom. Anything else you want to touch on with that?
No.
You're like, I got it all out.
That's all I got for now. I'll probably be like, why the hell did I talk about this?
Do you? Oh, well, that'll always happen. But you know what you do? We
What?
do another one.
That's true.
The more great poets, record company Master P, who now I have such a huge appreciation for just the ideas of ownership. Apparently, in the time that he did it in the '90s, but I won't go through his whole story. But anyway, the name of his record company is called No Limits. Ain't no limit to how many things we can do. You know what I mean? Because I know I could do it. And now, like, I have such a high appreciation. Something about New Orleans, man. Like, both Master P
Yes.
and, even though
That
Baby
place
wasn't always
is
the best
amazing.
person in certain negotiations, what he did with Universal, these people, I've discovered, ownership. I've discovered all kinds of shit like recently, but like I think we've been sold a whole lie on a lot of things, and
Yeah.
one of the most important things, man, like people want to be, I don't even know how to become rich. I'm far from it. I'm driving like Uber right now and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like ownership's definitely a big part of it, and those
Yeah.
dudes were able to negotiate like 80-20 splits for their entire label, if not less, with
crazy.
the cash money.
Yeah.
And they did it in a time where it was like no internet or nothing.
Yeah.
And they're both from New Orleans across the street from
Yeah.
it's pretty ridiculous. So I'm like, I don't know what
so
water was
funny.
going on there. But yeah, those are
That
anyway.
place is cool,
And then
man.
they're doing all kinds of crazy stuff like they Master P and all, like, got sneakers and all this stuff because
Yeah.
they got rap chips.
Wow.
Like, because it's just like, it's just the importance of owning stuff. And anyway, I don't know how I got to that.
Sorry, I'm just distracted.
No, you good.
He really likes you. That's
I'll take it.
fantastic. Yeah.
Shout out to I know you were afraid that he was gonna
Well, he's afraid of all men he meets, but when he spends time with
makes
them,
you feel better.
he
A
chills
lot of people
out.
don't think I'm a
Yeah.
real man. That might
You can really take anything and spin it.
Yes, you can. That's he does love sitting on this device though.
Yeah,
That's-
can
that's
you come over here? You're
just
comfy, huh?
paranoid.
Is that it?
Because I'm like, watch this
like, I
podcast
guess
just
I
be
have
a
to.
camera audio. Just because,
Right, just 'cause he
he
muted
unplugged it
it.
halfway.
Geralt, you gonna bump your head on that?
Should I do the life questions now?
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
I believe, if I recall, here's a simple one. The first one is probably who is your best friend?
Oh,
Oh man, is that a tough one?
yeah.
Oh, I got a new one, but a new first one because I haven't
People
asked
can
it yet.
hear that.
But yeah, who is your best friend? Oh,
That's
Phil.
impossible.
You don't. It's your question, so it's not
Okay,
like I need
okay.
the best friend.
So
You answer it
just
how you
have
answer it. So
too
in
many-
possibility,
Okay.
yes.
So I have too many friends that fit too many important needs in my life.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
You sound
Does
pretty
that
gritty right
sound-
now.
Okay, I
I'm
know
just
I
playing.
do, but it works in my favor.
Yeah,
So,
that's the whole point. Make
like,
life work for
some
you.
of my, can I list all of my best friends?
You do it.
No, because then I leave some
Cry is
out
about
by
to drop an
forgetting.
album right now where 2 of the tracks are just shout outs.
Oh, nice.
It's just it's just him giving a shout out. I'm gonna say me because he does give a shout out to me, but he also gives a shout out to Pizza. Thing like Papa Murphy's.
Pizza is really supportive.
Yes, he gave a shout out to a lot of teachers.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shout out. It's like no music. There's music, but there's a lot of him just bigging up everybody.
Yeah.
I think the first cut got erased because he would go on detail. Like, shout out to Rachel because she did A, B, C, D, E, and that was the whole track. He forgot to shout out everybody else.
Yeah.
So, like,
Well, listing them is really rough because I'm probably gonna forget
now
that
you're just
person
gonna
in the
forget.
middle.
Do you
but,
want to omit the question? Is it too much?
I have a lot of really important people in my life.
Shout out to important people in her life.
There's so many.
All right. It's no.
Next question.
All right. So here's. I have not asked this of anybody yet, but I thought of it because the first question is usually, "Who are you?" Right.
Yeah.
So
I don't think I did well in that question.
you did do well.
I
You know
did.
why? Because we ended up talking.
That's true.
Congratulations, you did it. Boom.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's like
I'm
a light
little-
bulb and space and all that shit.
Yeah.
Here, I don't know how this is gonna work, but I'm working on it.
Okay.
What are you?
Above all else, I am human. Right?
What does human mean to you?
I don't know. Lately, I've been thinking that humans are supposed to protect and care for the entire world. And we're not doing a great job of that recently.
Are we or aren't we? Because I just feel
Well,
like media spin will always.
I guess it depends on the situation that you're
Yeah.
talking about and where.
Yeah. Because we're not perfect, obviously.
no, that's true.
But a lot of people would argue that we're also at the most peaceful time we've ever been. It's not even an argument. It's like it's numbers to prove that.
Technically.
But we also have 24-hour news cycles now that definitely love saying negative stuff. So it's easy
it's not
to
that
think
that's bad though, because
it's not bad.
we gotta think
that way we
about
focus on it.
everything that's going on
Yeah.
to be fair and to fix things. But I don't know. I just feel like humans are protectors and guardians, and I think that's kind of how I.
It's kind of the story of Godzilla, King of the Monsters, except Godzilla is the protector.
Speaking of Godzilla,
Yeah.
that new Mothra movie was like the best thing ever. I love
Wait, Mothra has a movie?
Well, Mothra was invited to one of the recent Godzilla movies.
You can keep staying as you are, but now that you're here, I'm gonna keep talking because you just have it like on your chest. I'm like, I don't know if this records hearts or like, or what does, but I don't know how that. Oh, you do.
Help?
You got 3.
Yeah, extra.
You tell
loud.
me. Does it help?
We'll find out. I guess. So, yeah, I guess I just feel like my work is to be human and to exist that way as a protector and a guardian of what we're here to protect and guard.
I feel like there's an easy answer for this, but I feel like I want you to give me a better one, because you literally just told this whole story. So, what do you believe that people think you're crazy for believing? Wait. You're like, well, I just lived this whole life.
Basically, the previous question.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's a lot of ways I could go with that.
Hey, it's your question.
Because a lot of my life, I have believed that my opinion and my values are not cherished and treasured by the people in my life. So I just haven't been much of a speaker in terms of things that I need. And that heavily is going into my illness and all of that, which is why I don't talk about it with people, but also just kind of in general. So, and anytime I've brought that up, people are like, that's fucking crazy because your friends love you and your family loves you and they want to be there for you and they want to support you. And if you would just trust them and talk to them, they would be there for you. So,
but it's easier said than done.
Yes. And I say that all the time to my kids included. Easier said than done, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't need to be done. So
it's facts too.
So, which I am trying to do. I'm trying to speak more and be myself and let people support and
we
guide me.
can always do the work now.
Yes. Better late than never.
I think that's a Drake album or song. It is.
Oh, I believe it. No, I wasn't doubting you.
If you were rich, how would you live your life?
Probably very similarly to how I live now.
That's it?
Yeah.
All right.
I would probably have a really big backyard.
A bigger one.
Yeah. That's the only change I can
say. How do you say his name? Is it Geralt? How do you
Geralt?
Geralt?
From The Witcher.
No, I didn't mean him. I meant the dog.
Oh, yeah.
Him too. If you can get him.
Yeah.
He can also wander your backyard.
That'd be great.
But I meant your dog. That way he can have a lot of land to wander.
Yeah.
But, it'd be interesting. It's like this random dude with white hair just also wandering.
He just lives in my backyard.
Yeah.
Don't mess with him.
Yes, that's why I don't like the show. He's just in a big backyard. That's another story. Anyway, this was my original question that would help spark me on all these things, being curious, as I used to look for the answer myself. But I would eventually find out and believe now that the answer is always within anyway. But what is your goal in life?
My goal, I think, is to take care of myself and the people in my life well and properly and to the best of my ability.
How do you go about doing that?
This could be a really long conversation. If I feel like somebody needs me, I try to give them my time, like all of it. If anybody
but
needs
doesn't that
anything,
come
I
at the
try to
cost
do
of
that.
meter
Yes, sometimes.
or spoon?
Yeah, spoon meter. It can, but sometimes that's more.
I'm gonna
important.
interrupt you because it's semi-important because it's your stuff. at some point when you learn how to like really like, I never got into this because you've heard me talk about creativity. I'm more about making stuff. Everything else take care of itself, but other people care, right? Like a little bit more, which is good because that's how you get different stuff. I do a certain style by doing my style. But anyway, so on your stream at some point, right, when you figure out how to do cool graphics and stuff,
Yeah.
which I'm not really as familiar with yet, but we're both one YouTube video away from knowing.
Yeah.
You can put spoons as your meter for how good you're feeling that day.
Smart.
Yeah.
So people, well, because one thing my first video or my second one, it was just me rambling and not knowing if I was going to post it anywhere or not.
Yeah.
I was talking about how like you can tell how I'm feeling based on how often I'm yawning and sighing. Because if I'm yawning and sighing a whole lot, that means my rib cage like hurts and it hurts to breathe and I'm like not getting enough air. So I just have to
Oh wow.
like constantly be like gasping for breath almost. So like the more I do that, the worse I'm feeling.
Oh wow.
Which is interesting because I love the idea of putting kind of spoons up, but then people can see for themselves based on how I'm talking. Like if I'm capable of talking at all, even animatedly, I'm probably fine. Or close to fine. But that would be really interesting if people decide they want to see me and like listen to what I have to say. That might be a smart way to kind of.
And then you could have the translator on there,
it.
and that's like it's a gateway to having people starting to understand.
That's true.
What it is you're doing.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, you should do it.
This is why I came to you for advice.
It's documented, so.
We have it because I have a terrible memory. It's really good you recorded this.
Hey man.
Yeah.
3 things you're thankful for in life. You were probably gonna say something cool, but I mean, because actually you didn't even finish going.
Trees.
But go on this. Forget it. Keep going. Trees.
Trees.
Shout out to trees. You got like
Shout out
a
to
few
trees.
in the back, right?
Shout out to
Tree-ish?
trees and my friends and my family.
Trees, friends, family. Let's go. Where you see yourself 3 years in the future?
I can't answer that. That's been a major blockage lately. I mean, I'm literally considering upending my career because of my health. I can't answer that.
Part of me wants to challenge and say, like, I guess where do
I
you want
to be?
Yeah.
That's also a ridiculous question because
why?
if I could have my dream job, I would probably be working in a bookstore or in a tea house or in a florist shop. But I would not make enough
The more
money
things
to
change, the
pay
more
for
they
this
stay the
house.
same. Because I swear you've told me that years ago. Too.
I know I did. That's been my dream. I know I told you because it's been my dream since I was a kid.
I would say, and you know, like this is me. I like to think it expands beyond creativity as I try to do the impossible for myself too, which even by saying that word is dangerous because words are power. But why not have that still there as a form of like a goal, right?
Yeah.
So that because even if it's not tomorrow, one can still be working towards it.
It's true, but my fear is that I have to have really good health insurance.
Yeah.
I have to.
Bookstores don't do that.
Bookstores, florist shops, tea shops, they are usually small businesses. And even if they're not,
Master P would be like, you got to own that then. You better own that bookstore.
Right. Well, and if you're going to, trust me, I've thought about it. But if you're going to open your own business, you will not make any money for like at least 5 years
Oh, wow.
if you're
I feel
good
you.
at it. I've looked into it. I feel like it will be very hard for me to have a job that is not very much something along the lines of what I already have, which is going to exhaust me forever. And I'm just a little bit in a pit of fear about that.
I feel you on what you're saying, but just like I was saying with the power of the words,
Yeah.
because that is the path that one has set for
You
themselves.
telling me that it's my fault that I can't.
No, but I mean, like, part of like the way that mine, like I'm starting to believe works and stuff.
That's true.
It's like there's something to that, you know?
It's true. It's worth considering.
Yeah. So I ain't saying anything I'm saying is
I
right.
know you're not. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Yeah.
I'm purposefully misunderstanding you.
What is the perfect day?
Oh my gosh. Perfect day is not having anybody call me or text me.
Which is probably impossible, right?
I just want complete silence for an entire day. I want to be
Depeche Mode?
in my home with Depeche Mode playing. And I want to
Actually enjoy the silence.
survive.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to be in my own space the way that I need to be in my space without feeling like I'm letting somebody down by not responding to them or not answering them or not spending time with them or seeing them.
But you can't control that second part.
I know. I'm a teacher. I know that. I mean, I let 200 people down every time I'm not there. So,
I'm in less demand than you, but I am. But for now, but I'm working on it.
Good.
But every day, man, I start not that you can do this, because we all got our different things, but like, because you mentioned phone, like I have my phone airplane mode.
I know, I do that. I have do not disturb on. It starts at 8:00 and it doesn't at night, and it doesn't turn off until like 8:00.
Because that time for ourselves is important.
It is.
You got to do what you got to do for you.
Yeah, and sometimes I do turn my phone off.
Yeah,
you're right.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Is the last one.
I don't know if I'm ready.
I don't know. You probably not gonna like it.
What? What kind of question is this? Jeez.
It's the worst question.
Oh God.
Because what's the question that I should have asked you but I didn't?
Why is my dog licking the couch?
Is that really what I should have asked you? Is that really?
Why didn't you bring up that? Remember, there was something I said a long time ago. I actually thought you would bring it up because you did, I think, via text message recently, about happiness is a choice. Because there's a lot to say about that.
I thought of that today.
Yeah.
And that is like one of the hallmarks I have of you.
Well, it's interesting because, in my opinion, that is arguable in a lot of ways.
Are you taking the other side? The person who taught me is that?
I'm not, but I am saying that there is room for argument within that question. For me, because I spent 7 entire years completely depressed, like wanting to die and thinking everything was never going to get better. I literally got burned out. Did you just...
It was the heart.
He bit my chest.
That was the heart. He wanted
Very
one.
gently. I guess he's trying to take my life force. So I had to get to the point where I was desperately trying to survive and get out of it. I had to get angry. And then after the anger, I was like, I'm really fucking tired of this. Look how much better everything is when I stop thinking about myself. And for a lot of people, that's not an option. You have to think about your situation. You have to.
I understand that phrase. Look how much better things are
when you look outside of yourself. Okay, so let me tell you this, and this is probably complete garbage to a lot of people. The things that make me the most happy in this life are butterflies and clouds and sunsets and sunrises and trees and like everything that has nothing to do with me. And I know you remember this because that's most of my personality, which is no personality, but it just, okay, sorry. Strike that. Yeah. But once I just got into the pure awe of the entire earth around me, it was a lot easier to stop thinking about myself and to decide that that was what I wanted to survive for rather than everything else. So, and I mean, then of course, when I stopped being so angry and depressed, I was like, I have a pretty rockin' family and I have some pretty amazing friends. And why am I such an asshole? So
I'll say this, when you were saying that, it reminded me of this phrase that I feel like I'm becoming more and more open as I'm thinking about something, what to do in a few days. And his phrase, I can't even say it, but it's just so simple. It's not about you. You know, like,
yeah. It's not about you.
And
your life is not about you.
The irony, because it kind of is, but it is.
I know it is,
the
but
duality,
it isn't. I know.
Which Craw would love, because that's the name of his album, Craw. So I know you're gonna see this, and duality coming out whenever it comes out. But
oh my God,
it's not his fault. Now it's a process. But I mean,
but that's what I mean in the case that happiness is a choice is arguable. But my experience was I had to choose to get out of my own experience to reach happiness. But
I mean, I always agree.
There's a lot to be said on the other side.
That's a perfect example of something like, I don't even remember why you were telling me that at that time.
I don't remember either.
But I just remember, like, going through whatever I was going through whenever I was going through it, and I was like it just clicked,
Yeah.
And And you know, it's something that I still like will recall and probably will forever have attached to you in some way.
Yeah.
Because like you're the first one who told me that, and I'm like, yeah, man, like that's the powerful stuff right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was for me, definitely.
Yeah. Because like I said, I understand the argument, but it also it just kind of is, because it's like just depending on how we're gonna look at the world in perspective.
Yeah.
That is what we're gonna get in some ways, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's true.
So to wrap things up, if you want people to find you online,
I kind of don't yet.
I know as you put yourself out, like where do you want them to find you?
I guess at some point. Don't laugh already. I'm trying to put myself out there, which I'm terrible at. I guess at some point, Spoonie Plays Games is going to be my tag. So I mean, I already have a YouTube channel and Twitch, but there's not a lot there.
Yeah.
And it's all me just kind of rambling and forgetting that I'm recording something.
Which is good. That's part of it.
I guess.
Get into flow.
A lot of times I just play and then I realize, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be talking and making this interesting.
Don't worry about that, because that's what makes it not interesting.
Okay. So
because it'll come more naturally, but if you're trying
Yeah.
to force it, it'll probably be like, oh,
I guess
yeah.
that's true. So I guess if people are trying to find me, that's where I will be eventually doing what I am intending to do, which is give more of a voice to the chronically ill, to the Spoonies, while also playing games, which is such an important release for a lot of people. So
There you go.
that's that.
Last words?
I love everyone.
That's powerful. That's powerful.
That's
Well,
it.
I'll say this. Thank you again for doing it.
Yeah.
Like I said, you want people I always wanted to have on here. I really thought for a while like wasn't gonna happen.
Happened.
And I was just talking with you the whole time, both here on and off mic. It's been great. So
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
It's been really good to catch up.
Yeah, man.
It's been a long time.
So all right. Bake
Yeah.
that chicken, smoke that turkey. Boosh.
All right.
That was it.
Yeah, you did it.
Fire pizza.
Hey, do that. And that shit, brother. And that shit, brother. And that shit, brother.
Can't wait to grow up, celebrate life, throw up, drinking all night, getting into fights, free, not a kid, around the world I live, school in the morning, tired, yawning, wired to stay in bed, dressed like the Walking Dead, a signed book, never read, Diary of Anne Frank, interested, no thanks, when will school be over, in gym playing Red Rover, send Boost over, home to play games, tired of the same day again. Me and my friends, prison we living in. Me and them, battle to the other side of 25, and life will be alright. Everything tight when the sun is shining bright. Wish I was a kid again. Life's hard. Wish I was a kid again. Hungry, I starve. Wish I was a kid again. Someone please take charge. Wish I was a kid again. All life's hard.
Wish I was a kid again. Party every day, now my time I spend cleaning up vomit with this comment. Lost control, fights with Uber passengers, lost a friend. Stupid chasing after her, no longer a kid. Bronx, SA, Austin, lived, going to work the morning. Tired, yawning, don't know what to do to get ahead. Book I never read, mad respect life she led. Research online, crazy how I won. My current situation, the life she was facing. School's over, still out here playing Red Rover. Uber, Lyft, Austin, traffic shit. Sun's looking pretty cloudy. Looking at the mirror, continue to doubt me.